This summary is about the book 7 Habits to Beat Mediocrity. In this book, you will learn about 7 habits that can completely change your life and transform you from average to extraordinary. Think about this. What if you find a secret that sets you apart from the crowd, makes you extraordinary instead of average, and gives a new direction to your life? Would you want to know it? In today's world, everyone is working hard. Everyone is running. Still, only a few achieve the success everyone desires. Why? Because the difference is not in hard work. The difference is in habits. In this video, I will share with you the 7 habits that can completely change your life. These habits are not just about increasing productivity. They give your mind a new perspective, direct your energy in the right direction, and accelerate your growth. If you watch this video until the end, you will learn how to beat your distractions and become a master of deep work. How to optimize your time to get 10 times more work done. How to view problems not as negative obstacles, but as opportunities for solutions. How to become resourceful and turn every obstacle into an opportunity. How to accelerate your journey by building a network of the right people. How to make yourself sustainable through self-care. And how to make your thinking limitless with quality books. Friends, these are not just simple motivational talks. This is a roadmap that will take you from where you are today to a level where you will be proud of your life. So watch the video till the end, because every chapter will open a new door for you. And if you practice them, you will not just dream, you will start living those dreams. Habit 1. Get into deep work. Friends, have you ever noticed who our biggest enemy is in today's world? It's not poverty, not competition, and not a lack of opportunity. The real enemy is distraction. Every day, when you sit down to work, your phone screen lights up, a notification sound rings, WhatsApp messages, Instagram reels, YouTube videos, and you think, I'll just watch for 2 minutes. But these 2 minutes slowly eat up all your energy. And when the day ends, a feeling of guilt remains in your heart. I didn't give my best today. But imagine if you could rise above those distractions. If you could create a few hours where it's only about your work and nothing else. In that moment, your mind works with full power, your creativity is at its peak, and you enter a state of flow called deep work. What is deep work? It is a state where you are completely engrossed in a task. You lose track of time, just as an artist gets lost in their painting, a writer gets lost in their story, or a scientist gets so deep into an experiment that they don't hear the sounds of the world. This is deep work, and this is the secret weapon that will take you above the average. Now the question is, why is deep work so important? Because it is a skill that 90% of people don't develop. People stay at a surface level. They work for a while, then check social media. They read a book for a bit, then pick up their phone. And this is what creates the difference between average and extraordinary. Imagine if you could give just 2 hours every day to deep work, without any distraction. In the next 6 months, you can achieve what people fail to do in years. This is the power of focus. This is the power of concentrating your energy in one place. But deep work is not easy. It means you have to sacrifice. You have to tell yourself, when I am working, nothing, whether it's my phone or people's talk, will disturb me. You have to create such blocks in your life where there is only work and nothing else. Just think, when you are completely lost in a task, your mind works like a supercomputer, your productivity increases, your creativity multiplies, and your work reaches a level that others can't even imagine. This is the magic of deep work. In today's world, it's difficult to avoid distractions, but not impossible. The real winner is the one who knows how to protect their focus. Every time you save your focus, every time you get completely engrossed in a task, you move further away from being average. Friends, remember that your focus is your real currency. You can lose money and get it back. People can help you, but if you lose your focus, you have lost the biggest investment. Deep work is the investment that will give you returns for a lifetime. So now think, will you remain a slave to distractions, or will you make your focus your weapon and reach a level where the world will look at you and say, this person is different? Habit 2. Optimize your time. Friends, think about it. We all have the same amount of time in life. Every person has only 24 hours in a day. But the question is, some people make history in those same 24 hours, while others waste those hours and remain average. Where is the difference? The difference is in time optimization. Time is your biggest asset. You can earn money, you can make friends, you can learn skills. But once time is gone, it never comes back. And that is why successful people are at the forefront of saving time and spending it in the right places. Now think about what happens when you don't optimize your time. Your day passes in small things: emails, notifications, useless meetings, random conversations, and in the evening, you feel like the whole day is gone, but no major work was completed. This is the biggest waste of time. Imagine if you had a system that saves your time, automatically completes your repetitive tasks, and gives you an opportunity to focus only on things that are truly important. This is the power of time optimization. Think about this. Will you do every small task yourself, or will you delegate that work to someone else and focus on bigger goals? This is delegation. Will you manually write every email every time, or will you create a system once and automate it so that the work happens automatically in the future? This is smartness. Will you make decisions in confusion every time, or will you create frameworks for yourself that show the right direction every time? This is optimization. But the biggest question is, why don't most people do all this? Because they think they are productive only by being busy. The reality is that being busy and being productive are two different things. A busy person runs everywhere but reaches nowhere, whereas a productive person does less work but does the right work and reaches a big destination. Friends, if you learn to optimize your time, you can do 10 times more work, achieve 10 times more growth, and get 10 times ahead of others. But for this, you have to do one thing. You have to believe that your time is precious, so precious that you cannot spend it on every small distraction. Stop for a moment and think, how much of your day is actually spent on work that will fulfill your dreams, and how much is spent on useless activities that just eat up your time? This question can change the direction of your life. So now the decision is in your hands. Will you waste your time on those small things that have no long-term value, or will you reach a level by creating systems, bringing in automation, and delegating, where you are making the best use of every hour? Remember, average people spend their time, but extraordinary people invest their time, and investment always gives returns. So friends, are you ready to create the life you have always imagined by optimizing your time? Or will you remain the person who just thinks every evening that the time is gone and I didn't do anything big? Habit 3, look at things diagnostically. Think about this. When a problem comes into your life, what is the first thing you do? Most people panic. Their mind immediately starts thinking negatively. Why did this happen to me? What will happen now? I will never be able to get out of this. But this very thinking gets you deeper into the problem. In reality, the difference is only in perspective. One person considers a problem a burden, while another person sees the same problem as a question, like a puzzle whose answer needs to be found. This is a diagnostic perspective. A diagnostic perspective means looking at things logically, not emotionally. Imagine your car breaks down in the middle of the road. Now, there can be two types of reactions. First, you get angry, get stuck in frustration, and just keep thinking, why me? Second, you calmly look at what's wrong with the car, diagnose the problem, and find a solution. Now think, which reaction will get you to the solution faster? Obviously, the diagnostic perspective. Life is also something like this. We face challenges every day, but real growth happens when we learn to diagnose those challenges, when we ask ourselves questions like,
What am I in control of? What can I do better? How can I improve things? Every time you ask yourself these questions, your mind automatically starts working towards the solution, and that's where a new power is born within you. But the biggest challenge is that our mind has naturally developed a habit of blaming. As soon as a problem arises, we hold others or circumstances responsible. And when we start blaming, we move further away from the solution. A diagnostic perspective means leaving blame and taking responsibility yourself. Think about it. Whenever you face an obstacle, if you treat it like a test, as if life is asking you, okay, now tell me, how prepared are you? How much will your thinking change? At that moment, you will not be afraid. You will analyze. And this analyzing takes you to the next level. People with a diagnostic mindset consider every problem an opportunity. If a plan fails, they don't consider it the end, but feedback. And this feedback makes them even stronger. Friends, remember that every time you look at something with emotion, your vision becomes blurred. But when you look at it diagnostically, the road becomes clear. Life is full of problems. They will never end. But your perspective can change, and your perspective will decide whether you become average or extraordinary. So now the question is, the next time a difficulty comes into your life, will you get stuck in it and consider yourself helpless, or will you stand up calmly, diagnose it, solve it, and come out even stronger? Habit 4. Be resourceful. Friends, have you ever thought about it? There are two kinds of people in the world. First are those who, upon facing any problem, give up and say, I don't have the resources, I don't have money, I don't have connections. And second are those who find a solution amidst every problem. These people don't look for excuses, they look for ways. This is resourcefulness. Think about it. In today's world, ignorance is not an option. If you want to learn something, if you need an answer to a question, if you need a new skill, everything is within your reach. Search on Google, watch tutorials on YouTube, message an expert on Twitter or LinkedIn. Knowledge is scattered everywhere. The only difference is whether you want to use it or just complain.
Imagine two people in the same situation. Both have zero resources. The first person thinks, what should I do? I don't have anything, and remains seated there. But the second person says, okay, I don't have everything, but I have a brain. I can learn, I can try, and slowly I can create a path. Now think, who will get ahead in a few years? Obviously, the one who is resourceful. Being resourceful does not mean you have everything. Being resourceful means starting with what you have and finding what you don't have. If you don't have money, invest your time. If you don't have connections, learn networking. If you don't have knowledge, read books and scour the internet. Resourcefulness means never being empty-handed. But the real problem is that we have all developed a habit of making excuses. We think, if I had this, I would have done it too. But the truth is that the world's greatest achievers started from zero. They had no money, no contacts, and no big support system. They had only one thing, resourcefulness. And that's what sets them apart from the crowd. Friends, remember that the solution to every problem in the world already exists. The answer to your every question is already available. The only difference is whether you want to find it or not. So now ask yourself this question. When the next obstacle comes, will you say, I have nothing? I can't do it? Or will you stand up and say, I'll start with what I have and I will find what I need? This is resourcefulness. This is the habit that makes an average person extraordinary. Habit 5. Create a high-value network. Friends, take a look at your life. With whom do you spend the most time? Your friends, your colleagues, your social circle. These are the people who shape your thinking, your habits, and your entire future. It is said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That is, you become the average of those 5 people with whom you spend most of your time. Now think, if these people are average, can you become extraordinary? Imagine 2 different situations. First, you are spending time with people who always think negatively, complain, and consider their dreams small. They will stop you too, telling you that this is not possible or it's not for you.
Slowly, their energy will become your energy. And second, you are among people who dream big, take action, and push you to. They will challenge you, inspire you, and help bring out the best in you every day. Now think in which situation you will grow. This is the power of a high-value network. This network is not just about friendship, it is your environment, and the environment is always stronger than willpower. If you stay among the wrong people, no matter how disciplined you are, slowly you will start thinking like them. But if you stay among the right people, your speed will multiply. Think about it. Every successful person in history has had a powerful network. No one reached greatness alone. There were always people who guided them, supported them, and pushed them. Now, the big question is, how is a high-value network created? It's not just created by collecting contacts, it's created by quality connections. It means you have to look for people who have a growth mindset, who give positive energy, and who are aligned with your goals. And yes, a network is not just for taking. If you want to create a high-value network, you also have to become valuable yourself. Give value to others, help them, and genuinely connect with them. Only then will they stand with you and help you move forward on your journey. But friends, the biggest challenge is that we have to learn to recognize toxic people and stay away from them. Because if you get stuck among people who pull you down, no matter how hard you try, your growth will stop. So now ask yourself this question: where are the people around you taking you? Up or down? Do they inspire you or demotivate you? Do they make your thinking bigger or smaller? Remember, your company determines your future. So choose wisely whom you spend your time with, because average people become average by staying among average people. And extraordinary people become extraordinary by creating an extraordinary network. Habit 6. Take care of yourself. Friends, this world teaches us the same thing every day. Work harder, run faster, sleep less, grind more. But the truth is that this thinking slowly leads you towards burnout instead of success. Think about it. How far will your car go without fuel? Maybe a few kilometers. Then it will stop. This is exactly the condition of our lives as well. If we don't take care of ourselves, no matter how fast our speed is, we will soon get tired and fall. Today, hustle culture is glorified. People say, sleep is for the weak, rest later, work now. But the reality is that sleep, rest, and self-care are not weaknesses. They are your real strength, because only when your mind is fresh, your body is energetic, and your spirit is calm can you give your best. Imagine you work all night, sacrifice sleep, and tell yourself, I am strong. But slowly, your mind becomes dull, your creativity starts to fade, and your decisions become wrong. This is burnout, and burnout doesn't just eat up your career, it eats up your whole life. Now think, if you recharge yourself every day with exercise for your body, sleep for your mind, and meditation for your spirit, then you are not just working, but you are also preparing yourself for long-term sustainable success. This is true smartness. But the biggest mistake we make is that we consider self-care a luxury. We think, I'll go to the gym when I have time. I'll meditate when I'm free. But friends, self-care is not a luxury. It is your need. It is the foundation, and no building can stand without a foundation. Remember that if you ignore yourself, you are also ignoring your dreams. Because to fulfill your dreams, you need your energy, your focus, and your clarity. And all this is possible only when you take care of yourself. So now ask yourself this: do you want to burn your life out in just hustling? Or do you want to make yourself so strong, so balanced, and so energetic that you keep winning for years? Because winners are not those who work the most. Winners are those who take care of themselves so they can last the longest. So friends, now the decision is yours. Will you give fuel to your body, mind, and spirit so you can become extraordinary? Or will you remain the same average person who loses themselves every day just because they didn't prioritize themselves?
Habit 7. Read quality books. Friends, think about it. If someone tells you, I will give you all the wisdom I have learned from 20 years of hard work, thousands of experiences, and hundreds of mistakes in just a few hours, Would you reject it? Probably not, because this deal is so powerful that no one can refuse it. And this is the deal we get from books. Books are a treasure in which someone else's entire life's experience, their learnings, and their wins and losses are hidden. When you read a book, you are not just reading words, you are living an entire journey of a person. Think about it. A book can save you from mistakes that might have cost you years of time and millions of dollars. A book can give you new ideas that can change your entire thinking, and a book can give you the inspiration that can determine the direction of your life. This is the magic of reading. But there is a difference here. Not every book is valuable. The real difference is in choosing quality books, because quality books give you a high ROI. They don't just give you information, they bring transformation. Imagine if you read for just 30 minutes every day. In a year, you can finish dozens of books, and every book opens a new door in your mind. Now think about it. If this habit stays with you for years, how much will your thinking, your knowledge, and your personality change? But the problem here is that most people don't prioritize reading. They say, "I don't have time." The truth is that everyone has time. We just spend it on the wrong things. 1 hour of social media scrolling, useless conversations, unnecessary distractions. If you give all this up, you have time to read every day. Reading is not just for knowledge. It is a workout for your brain. Just as a gym makes your body strong, books make your mind strong. And when your mind is strong, no matter how big the challenges are, you can fight them easily. Now, ask yourself this question. When was the last time you read a book that shook your thinking, that forced you to stay up all night thinking? If you can't remember the answer, it's a sign that it's time to start this habit again. Remember, extraordinary people don't just learn from the world, they also learn from books. And this difference becomes the biggest factor between average and extraordinary. So friends, now the choice is yours. Will you waste your time on just entertainment and distractions, or will you make quality books your biggest mentor and become the person who stands apart from the crowd? Because books are not just pages, they are doors. Doors to a world where your limits are broken and your true potential comes to light. Conclusion. Friends, now look back. We have completed a journey of 7 habits together that can set any person apart from the crowd. It started with deep work, where we learned to recognize our true power by defeating distractions. Then came time optimization, where we learned to invest every hour. Then we learned to look at problems with a diagnostic perspective and find solutions from them. Then we understood resourcefulness, that is, to start with what you have and find what you don't have. Then we created a high-value network, where the power of the right people lifts us up. Then we learn the importance of self-care, that it is more important to sustain yourself than to hustle. And finally, we reached quality books, that treasure that makes our thinking limitless. But friends, the biggest question now is, will these habits just remain something you've heard, or will you make them a part of your life? Because the truth is that knowledge is never enough. If knowledge is not converted into action, it just remains information. The real magic happens when you practice these habits, when you wake up every morning and do deep work, when you consciously use your time every day, when you calmly find a solution instead of panicking when problems arise, when you leave excuses and become resourceful, when you surround yourself with high-value people, when you take care of your body, mind, and spirit, and when you learn something new every day from a quality book. Remember, greatness doesn't come in one day. Greatness is built from small habits every day. These habits determine your direction. These habits create your destiny. Now you are standing at a point where there are 2 paths. The first is the same old path of distractions, excuses, and average thinking. And the second is that new path where discipline, focus, and an extraordinary life are waiting for you. So the decision is in your hands. Will you get lost in the crowd and remain average? Or will you adopt these 7 habits and become the person for whom the world will say, "This is different. This is extraordinary"? Friends, the door is in front of you. You just have to take one step.